arrived at Harvard as an eager freshman, I was excited at the sight of so many different people from so many different backgrounds. But the more people I interacted with, the more I realized that I would only see this diversity and never feel it. In fact, now I argue Harvard is only diverse on paper. Every student is the same because collectively we do very little to represent the racial groups we checked on our applications. For diversity to truly exist at Harvard, we the students must take the responsibility of representing the minority groups that we claim to be members of. Harvard is 9% Latino, 10% Black, 17% Asian, and 1.5% Native American. But does that really make Harvard that diverse? Is diversity on paper good enough, or are students expected to be active members of their communities? When Harvard admits a student, they expect the person to reflect the description on their application, but many students do not embrace their racial diversity. Let's take the Harvard Black community, for example. The Black Student Association has 200 active members, but since Harvard is 10% Black, you would expect the BSA to have 700 active members. But many students at Harvard decide they do not want to be a part of the Black community. Freshman year, I was social chair of the Freshman Black organization. My goal was to recruit every Black freshman in order to build a stronger Black community. I went to the admissions office to find a list of every student that checked Black on their application and emailed and Facebooked every single one of them. The responses shocked me. Many plainly told me that they deliberately chose to not be a part of the Black community. Knowing that this is also an issue in Latino, Asian, and Native American communities, it is clear that many of Harvard students use the diversity as merely a tool to get into Harvard. However, I argue that we have the responsibility to the communities we checked because we have been blessed with the position and the opportunity to make an impact in them. But when can we simply be ourselves? Why should we have to consciously attempt to be Black or Latino or Asian? We should always be ourselves. But if we do not reflect the box that we checked on our applications, then it should have been left blank. Just as you will not subscribe to a magazine that you do not want to read, we should not subscribe to identities we refuse to embody. It's like a box of crayons, and you think, oh, there's so many different colors. And you pick a black one, and you scribble, and it's black, of course. Then you pick a green and you scribble, and it's black. And you pick a yellow one, and you scribble, and it's black again. It's impossible to paint a different picture if all the crayons look different on the outside, but are exactly the same on the inside. However, one of my friends brought up a good point. She believes that as a minority student, she is more effective in a more racially heterogeneous organization. In a racially heterogeneous organization, as opposed to these race-based minority groups. She argues that the true definition of diversity is to bring in lots of different students with different ideas to mix their different perspectives. I agree with her. But diversity also serves another purpose, a greater purpose. Civil rights leaders fought and bled for our right to be here. They fought not so just one of us can make it, but so all of us can make it. We have been blessed with this opportunity, not just for ourselves, but for our respective communities. Diversity initiatives were created to uplift these excluded communities, which we can do by getting involved with the minority groups on campus. But to return to my friend's point, being involved in a heterogeneous organization is good, but as minority students, we must do both. We must be involved in these non-minority organizations to provide a diversity of opinion there, but we should also join our minority groups to uplift our respective communities. Now, to be clear, when I say minority groups, I refer to every element of diversity, whether it's racial, ethnic, gender, sexual orientation, ability, or class. We should embody our minority groups that we represent. For if we do not, we will not represent anything different from the homogeneous groups of the past. So what should we be? In the 1600s, Hamlet says, to be or not to be. Nowadays, the Army says, to be all you can be. Today, I say, we should be ourselves. There's a story of an old man and a little boy. The little boy mischievously asked the old man if the bird he is holding in his hands is dead or alive. The old man knows if he says the bird is dead, the little boy will open his hands and let the bird fly away. The old man also knows that if he says the bird is alive, the little boy will crush it in his hands. The wise old man peers into the eyes of the little boy and says, the power is in your hands. As John Jackson of the Scott Foundation said, to be or not to be, that is the